All right, Psalm 79, another psalm of Asaph. Now realize there's a big time difference between Asaph and David. David is very early in Israel. Asaph is post-exile in Israel as well. So he's kind of writing from this uh, further down the timeline perspective. And we're going to see that in this psalm today as he's talking about Babylon that comes in and destroys Jerusalem. So verse 1, O God, the heathen are come into thine inheritance. Thy holy temple have they defiled. They have laid Jerusalem on heaps. Now, this is around 585 BC. This is the destruction of Jerusalem. So remember, Babylon came in earlier, wiped out Assyria, pushed Assyria out, took over the area, appointed a new king, King Zedekiah in Israel, found out that Zedekiah and the ruling class of Israel was conspiring with Egypt to side with them and to go away from Babylon. Feeling betrayed, King Nebuchadnezzar basically razed Jerusalem to the ground. Horrible destruction that happened to them. Verse 2, the dead bodies of thy servants have they given to be meat unto the fowls of the heaven, the flesh of thy saints unto the beasts of the earth. Their blood have they shed like water round about Jerusalem, and there was none to bury them. So if you weren't killed in that siege against Jerusalem, you were most likely carried captive into Babylon, into the exile. Some were left, but a lot were either killed or carried off, basically. Verse 4, we are become a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and derision to them that are round about us. How long, Lord, wilt thou be angry forever? Shall thy jealousy burn like fire? Pour out thy wrath upon the heathen that have not known thee, and upon the kingdoms that have not called upon thy name. For they have devoured Jacob and laid waste his dwelling place. O remember not against us former iniquities. Let thy tender mercies speedily prevent us. For we are brought very low, or basically, come to us. Verse 9, help us, O God of our salvation, for the glory of thy name, and deliver us. Purge away our sins for thy name's sake. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is their God? Let him be known among the heathen in our sight, by the revenging of the blood of thy servants which is shed. Let the sighing of the prisoner come before thee. According to the greatness of thy power, preserve thou those that are appointed to die, and render unto our neighbors sevenfold into their bosom their reproach, wherewith they have reproached thee, O Lord. So we, thy people and sheep of thy pasture, will give thee thanks forever. We will show forth thy praise to all generations. So this is probably written during the early days of the exile, as their Israel is reeling from this destruction. They're not used to the new situation yet, and this is I would dare say that's probably when this was written. Was around that time of the exile to Babylon, basically. Let's jump over into our next chapter as we continue to learn more.